Hey, what's up everybody? So today we have this Trane unit here that doesn't want to heat for us. It's currently 30-ish degrees outside, and the back of the house at this restaurant is about 55, 56 degrees. So I just got up on the roof and sort of just verified I have a blinky light on my RTRM board. You'll notice our transformer there, it's on the 230 tap. I'll bet you that's wrong, so we'll have to change that. This right here, 99% sure that is our wireless sensor, our thermostat system. So we'll verify a call for W1 in just a second. But first, we're just gonna go through a couple little visuals. Let's see, blower's working. Belt looks a little floppy. Might have to adjust that. Let's see. That motor looks like garbage, bro. Nothing jumping out at me here. Other than this motor looks like it's been pretty hot at one point in time. Igniter back there, or our flame sensor rather. It's pretty bad. Nice and rusted up. I'll probably end up replacing that along with our sparker. So first things first, let's check out these blinky lights. So we got 6 blinky lights. 6 blinky lights means flame rollout is open. Well, that's no good, is it? Alright, so before I just go ahead willy-nilly and resetting our flame rollout, that little guy up there, let's double check our heat exchanger, because you never know. This unit's not that old, but you just never know. Alright guys, here's our heat exchanger. Now, I know it looks fairly bad, and it is, but the majority of this I've scraped all along these seams with a screwdriver. I don't have any soft spots. I don't have any openings. There's no visible cracks. Like I said, there's no weak spots. My only area of concern is way up front where I can't see, and I can't really disassemble the entire machine to see the front of the heat exchanger. At that point, I might as well just quote to replace it, because I mean, you're talking pulling the blower out, the motor. I mean, just to get up there into the front. But from what I can see back here, there's no openings or anything like that. So we're gonna reset this, fire it up, and see if I do actually have rollout or if I just have a failed rollout switch. Let's reset our little rollout switch right here very carefully. You should probably do this. Well, that's dead. Let's power that off instead of just staring at it. Alright guys, there's our noisy inducer motor. I do have 212 volts going to it in my blue and my red, which is my black and my red. We'll double check over here. So high fire. There we go. Anyway, we got voltage to it. It's not turning. We need a new one. Get out of there. Jeez, bro. This is what I'll end up doing, is quoting also, along with the inducer, a new flame rod, new igniter. Pressure switch looks okay. Tubing's not dry rotted. That looks okay. What I assume happened, since our rollout switch was tripped, I'll bet that it was in heat mode and all of a sudden our inducer just died. And maybe our pressure switch didn't cut out the valve, didn't shut the valve off instantaneously, or maybe the inducer was just moving slow enough to the point where some of the flames started coming back. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm going to recommend they do replace that heat exchanger anyway, just based on its looks. No visible cracks, nothing I can prove, but you know. Alright guys, let me make some phone calls and see what the owner wants me to do. And we're back, guys. We are going to be replacing this inducer motor. Blam. Got the new one right here. Voltage looks correct. Purple, pink, black wires looks correct. The customer only approved me to replace the inducer motor, not the other things that I recommended that they replace, just based on age. Now, of course, since the inducer was bad, I couldn't safely check everything else, so I didn't. So once I get the inducer motor in, as I told the customer, then I will be able to verify the other components. So they're well aware of this. So let's get to work. So right back there, it's always the last one I've noticed. It's never the first one, it's always the last one. But that one is rusted to the point where the square sides of it are rounded out. So I'm gonna have to get a little bit creative to figure out a way to get that thing out of there. Now, it's a good thing that I'm a fairly calm person, because if I wasn't, I would have kicked a hole right through this rooftop unit. But I am staying pretty calm despite this one little bolt that was rusted out to the point that I couldn't turn it. Does not want to release. So I drilled a hole through it, ruined a drill bit, used another drill bit, got a hole through there, and then for no reason, my fancy little tripod top part snapped off, which is real stupid. So all the more reason to dislike Trane. Thanks for breaking my tripod, Trane. All right, let me throw some more tools at this thing. If I would have just brought my Dremel tool, it would have been simple. I would have just zipped it right off. But yeah, I don't have it today, and it's not really at a good enough angle I can get my angle grinder in there and do anything with. I mean, there's not enough room back there to properly, safely work an angle grinder, so we'll get it. It's just going to take me a bit. Finally got that bolt out. Wiggle this thing out of there. Now the new one didn't come with a gasket, so we'll just throw a little bit of fire caulk on there and then throw her back in there. See what happens. Get this old gasket off there first. I let you guys watch, but somebody broke my tripod, Trane. So I can't do this with one hand, so I'm gonna have to put you guys down for a minute. As you can tell, the new motor is in place. Amp clamp is hooked up. Let's go power it on and see what happens. All right, well, I know it's calling for heat because it's very, very cold downstairs. But those of you familiar with Trane know that there's a 37-hour delay before anything happens. Oh, wait a minute. My bad. It's on right now. 0.27, that's really, really close to our 0.28 that we're supposed to be drawing. Now let's see if she fires up. Oh yes, we forgot to hook this up. Probably gonna have to cycle power now. Let's go back to the disconnect. Alright guys, 37 hours later, the unit is up and running. It did fire up. You can see back there. It did fire up. My amp draw on my high wire, right here, was initially 0.26, and it dropped out and just kicked onto our low fire, which is 0.13. Now it is making a little bit of noise coming from the bearing, which is kind of alarming. I'm chalking it up right now to it's very, very cold. And I'm just waiting to see if that motor warms up and our bearing noise goes away. But I don't really like that noise. It's not comforting. It doesn't make me feel good inside. We're gonna let it run for a little bit, guys. Gonna get some supply temps, and then we'll move it on. Yeah, we're done, guys. See you on the next one.